Good afternoon. Good seeing you again. I hope everybody is doing well and that you're actually getting through all your work and all your classes. I know that sometimes it might be a struggle to stay organized, but remember just use your planner, stay on top of everything, try to jot down notes, try to have a system that works for you that allows you to like get everything done that you have to get done. So don't stay away from it, don't shy out. I know that it's very, very easy to become unmotivated because of the amount of work that we're receiving in our classrooms, virtual classrooms, that is. But remember, you guys actually have Friday off. You guys do not have class on Friday, so you get to enjoy that day with your loved ones, and you don't necessarily have to be on Teams, and so you would have the day essentially off. So remember, mark that down on your calendar. Friday, you guys do not have to log on to Teams, but there might be some assignments that you have to catch up with. Just make sure that you get everything done before the week ends, so that way everything is set and you can take care of what you need to on the other side. So guys, I do want to start off today with another FRQ. I know you might be saying, man, another FRQ. Remember, this is exactly what we have to do. We have to make sure that we know how to write these responses and that we can get our AP score where we want it to be. So, without further ado, I will read to you the one prompt that we have here today. It's called Annabelle Teaches Art, Perceptual Processes and Theories. So, this is in relation to unit number 3. And in unit number 3, we took care of sensation and perception. So this will be a slight review on unit 3, sensation and perception. As you can see, they want us to use the trichromatic theory of color vision. They want us to use the explanation of color blindness. They want us to talk about relative height, linear perspective, as well as interposition, and they want us to talk about similarity and proximity. So a lot of these words or a lot of these terms came right off Gestalt psychology. So if you guys want to research that or look at the PowerPoint for Gestalt psychology, I know that under Unit 3 we have all that goody stuff, so I will tag you on it so that way you can look at it and you can review all these terms, and you can get a picture as well, you can get a visual, and it's a lot better, and it's just better to review that way. So I want to start off today by defining some of these terms, because I know that in the other FRQs those terms were not so difficult, or at least they were a little bit easier to remember. And for students typically have more trouble with terms in sensation and perception for some reason. So let's go ahead and take care of the terms first and foremost, and then we'll jump into an explanation and an example, so that way we can interpret it together and you guys can take care of the other half of this prompt by yourselves. I know that for the past 4 FRQs, I've actually been explaining how to work the entire thing, so that way you guys can have like a reference. But this time I will only provide you with the rubric, so that way you have less assistance. Now it will be you, your PowerPoints, your definitions or your terms, as well as the work, right? The FRQ. And let's see what you can do with it, so that way we can start planning for our AP test and what we need to fix and perfect. So when we talk about the terms, right? The trichromatic theory of color vision in general, students need to say that it should actually identify that colors are red, blue, and green. And out of these colors that we have within our retina, we can combine those colors to create all colors of light. So that's what the trichromatic theory is all about. Using the colors red, blue, green within our retina, combining those colors, and using that in order to create new colors. So, explanation of color blindness. So, the response here should indicate that an individual who suffers from color blindness is missing cones that respond to specific colors. The answer must also talk about how the most common color blindness is red and green. Across the board, red and green are typically the colors that are misidentified the most, or that could be affected by colored blindness the most. So you do need to know this for a fact. Now, when we talk about relative height is just simply the response when trying to tackle this part of the FRQ, right? It needs to indicate that the items in the drawing which are further away should appear higher on the canvas, and those that are close should appear lower on the canvas. The response should also relate this to the landscape painting. So remember, relative height is just, it depends on where you're standing, right? I would love for you to actually access these FRQs. While I'm on this video, I'm actually going to go and try to access this so you guys can see this. I think I'm on the wrong page here. Let me go to Teams, and then under Unit 3, we actually have all this information. So senses, perception, states of consciousness. This would be under perception. So let's try to open it up. Hopefully it opens up so you can see it right now. I know that our videos need to be at least 10 to 12 minutes, or at most 10 to 12 minutes. So hopefully I don't go over that right now. It seems to be loading up here. Perception, perfect. Let's see. In the meantime, let's go standing, and it's relative to what you're looking at. So typically somebody who's coming from like far away, they seem to be a lot smaller. Then when they get closer, they're a lot larger. That is what they call relative height. So we'll look at it as well right now. Now, linear perspective, when we talk about linear perspective, the response must indicate that linear perspective involves parallel lines coming together in distance and relate to this landscape painting. So linear perspective, typically if you imagine a railroad, right, and you're looking at a railroad, at some point it's going to fade away and it's going to end. It's going to be a very small point where it ends, and that is what its linear perspective, covered by other objects, appear further in the background. Suggesting distance, the response should relate this to landscape drawing. And then similarity, of course. If Annabelle's students want to demonstrate the Gestalt principle, then they would use similarity. But before I talk about explanations or relating the information to the prompt, in general, students must respond and demonstrate that we are likely to group objects that share similar characteristics and relate this to the landscape drawing. So perfect. Now that you know a little bit about the definitions behind the FRQ today, I will go ahead and try to open up the PowerPoint again, so that way we can look at these shapes that we're talking about, or these, yes, it's right here, the Gestalt principles. So when we talk about Gestalt principles, right, we are talking about these right here, these guys right here. So we have closure, similarity. Similarity is one of the ones that you need to use. Similarity. And let me try to find interposition and the other ones. They're actually not here. But what I'm going to do is I will get another PowerPoint slide. I think it's on another PowerPoint that covers those other perspectives. So that way you can have an image of what they are. And that way you're not running around and kind of just guessing. Another thing that we can do in the meantime is maybe get a picture going. So relative size. We do have a YouTube page, guys, so check that out. It's our class page, our AP Psychology class page. Alright, so I guess internet's running a little bit slow. Do apologize for that. But this is all relative size is. Remember, I had given you a document, and that document it actually had all of the information that you needed. What I'm going to go ahead and do is try to pull up that document again, guys, so you can have access to it, because right now I'm running out of time and I want to get to explaining the FRQ. So let's go back to the FRQ. Be on the lookout. I will be posting a document where you will have all of those pictures and you can see them, and that way it's a lot easier for you. And the pictures that I'm referring to is a picture for a linear perspective. If not, just find one on the internet, interposition, find a picture for that, find a picture for similarity and proximity. I need you guys to have a visual of that as well. So let's start off by explaining here the first part. It says, Part A. In a lesson on color, Annabelle describes how mixing colors of light is different than mixing colors of paint. Unfortunately, not all of her students are able to distinguish between colors and are having difficulty in their first project making a color wheel. Explain how the following theories may impact these lessons in her classroom. Okay, perfect. So let's dive right into it. If we wanted to answer this successfully, this is a way to do it. So Annabelle can teach her students the difference between additive color mixing, which occurs with colors of light. When all colors are mixed together, the result is white. However, if Annabelle's students create paintings, they will be using subtractive color mixing. When all colors are mixed together, the result is black. Students will need to know this when they are mixing different colors of paint for their paintings. And some students cannot mix all of the proper colors for the color wheel because they are colorblind. The most common form is red-green color blindness, where the colors are red and green appear as brown. So I know that it might be a little, I guess, daunting to try to tackle this part A, but just try to really engage or try to find out what the trichromatic theory of color vision was all about, and try as well to go back and look at the explanation of color blindness. Now, just like we have taken care of part A, I need you guys to take care of part B and part C. As you can see, you have had time to review here an example. I am not going to go over it. I want you guys to have more opportunity to work on it by yourselves. So go back to your Unit 3 PowerPoints, and also within those Unit 3 PowerPoints, right here on this area within Teams, so you go to Teams, right? And then we'll go to the main AP Psychology Teams page. And then here we'll go to Unit 3, Sensation and Perception. This is where you need to be. This is where all the information will be uploaded. I will be uploading videos, I will be uploading pictures and things that relate to this chapter on this part of our channel, so that way you guys can have access to it. But it was lovely seeing you again. I hope everybody is staying safe. Remember, do not become discouraged because of the amount of work. Just try to stay with it and try to remember that we're here to help you no matter what. And also, just reach out. If you have any questions, concerns, just reach out. I know that a lot of students are telling me, hey, so-and-so is not going to make it today because Wi-Fi is down. Instead of having that student tell us, just get a hold of our phone number, or have them tell us to get in contact with you, or like be more responsible for yourself. So I do thank you once again, guys, and I cannot wait to see you again.